Welcome back to the channel. I'm Racky Ryan. This video is for entertainment purposes only. Today there was some huge news that came out related to the financial industry as well as the crypto industry. These two industries have slowly been merging towards each other over time, but today was a huge day for both of them. So I'm going to break down exactly what happened, how it's going to impact both, and then we're going to talk about the specific company that the news is related to. Today, Visa has become the first major payments network to support US crypto as a native currency and settlement system on its network. This is massive news. This is huge because Visa is a $450 billion company and they do the majority of the payments processing across the world. So this is a major turning point for the adoption of crypto. This is big news because we've already seen adoption from big institutional investors as well as large companies and individuals such as Elon Musk and Tesla, Jack Dorsey and Square and Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy. So now that Visa, the company that does all the payment transactions, is adopting crypto, this is a big deal. So I'm going to value Visa stock and we're going to talk about how this could impact crypto as well. So if you've watched my videos in the past where I value a stock, the most important metric in my model is the free cash flow per share. So what I'm going to do is take year 2020 free cash flow per share, which is 5.18. Then I'm going to go back 5 years, 2015, which is 2.49. And this is going to give me a compound annual growth rate. What I like to generally do is use the same historical compound annual growth rate in order to project out the future growth rate for the cash flows of the free cash flow per share. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and use 15.78. Next, you have to come up with a discount rate in order to discount the stock to its present value today. I'm going to use 7.5%, which is the annualized return on the S&P 500, which is also known as the market, adjusted for inflation. Next, I'm going to use a GDP growth rate because you have to assume that the economy continues to grow at a certain rate. Historically, 3% is about average. So I'm going to use 3%. This gives me my intrinsic value. Intrinsic value is what the stock is worth today according to my model. This gives me an intrinsic value of 194.49. Visa is currently trading at 214.65. So I go back to my model. I enter 214.65. So technically, according to my model, this stock is a bit overvalued. The thing when you value stocks is it's not an exact science. So you also have to remember that Visa has a moat. It is very difficult to enter the space that Visa is in. And so Visa is basically the big player and it is trading at a higher price to earnings than the average company. The reason is people are willing to pay a premium in order to buy Visa stock. So I'm going to look at the price to earnings for Visa. I do think it's something like 45 or 50. Let me take a look. So Visa has a price to earnings ratio of 49. Technically that is honestly a little bit high, and so that is why the company is theoretically overvalued according to my model. However, don't be mistaken because Visa is in a really good space. Digital wallets, digital transactions, payment processing, and the fact that they're now adopting crypto could all lead to very bullish events. So I'm going to rerun my model. I'm going to run it 3 times. This was the first time. We're going to run it 2 more scenarios. And under these next 2 scenarios, I'm going to use a little bit more bullish of a future growth rate. So these numbers don't change for the free cash flow per share. So it's 5.18, 2.49. That's going to give you 15.78. So next, I'm going to use a slightly more bullish future growth rate. I'm going to use 17.5%. I'm going to use the same discount rate. That does not change. The same GDP rate. This gives you an intrinsic value of $208 per share. It's currently trading at 214.65. So that means that Visa stock is currently trading at about a fair value. However, after this recent news, if this makes you extremely bullish on Visa, let's run a more bullish case. 5.18, 2.49. And for this next future growth rate, let's go with 20%. Same discount rate. GDP growth stays the same at 3%. This gives an intrinsic value of $230 per share, currently trading at 214.65. So that under this scenario, this would give you 7.57% upside. So honestly, I think there's nothing wrong with investing into Visa stock. However, I think that you could potentially get a higher rate of return if you were to invest into a different stock. But if you do own Visa stock, I don't think that you should sell the stock because, like I said, the stock is a very good company and it is in a very good space. So I think that the stock, according to my model, is pretty much fairly valued. So what does this mean for crypto? Well, today, Bitcoin is up 4% and Ethereum is up 8%. So this obviously is a bullish sign for crypto. So this obviously is a very bullish sign for crypto because Visa is the largest payments processor in the world. Speaking of Visa, it's also worth noting that Warren Buffett has a gigantic stake in Visa. He owns over $2 billion in Visa stock. So I think that this move by Visa was very smart. It creates synergies both for Visa and for crypto, specifically Ethereum and Bitcoin. Again, as we see the world starting to shift towards digital payments and cryptocurrency payments, etc., Visa is smart in order to get ahead of the curve. They don't want to be left behind. They don't want people to not use Visa. So if Visa adopts and starts to use crypto, then that allows them to stay in the game, because they are well aware of what's going on with crypto and they want to make sure that they don't get left behind. So if you enjoyed the video today, make sure to hit the like button as well as subscribe. I appreciate you guys being here today and I look forward to seeing you again in the future.